The NBA bubble has resulted in a lot of unexpected situations and surprising things, and one of those unexpected things that happened was the Denver Nuggets starting the tallest lineup in NBA history. So in today's video, we'll be talking about the Denver Nuggets, this lineup that they started, and if this will be a new style of play, if this will be a new strategy that teams use in the future. Let's get right into it. If you have not already, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I upload weekly and I really appreciate the support. It just goes a long way in helping the growth of my channel. But anyways, getting right into things, obviously, like I said before, the Denver Nuggets started the tallest lineup in NBA history, and although it was very fun to watch, it was very fun to see just how big they were compared to the other team, I'm not sure if it is sustainable, and I'm not sure whether or not it will start a new trend of more teams starting bigger lineups, but that is why we are talking about it in today's video. So, who did the Denver Nuggets start? At point guard, they had Nikola Jokic, their superstar center. Obviously, their offense kind of runs through him anyways. He's a pass-first center. Obviously, he's probably one of the best passing centers, if not the best passing center in the whole entire NBA. So, kind of makes sense. At shooting guard, they had Jeremy Grant, very lanky, very long, very tall wing defender. He's more on the defensive end. Like I said, he's a defender, but he has a little bit of offensive skills too. At small forward, they had Bol making his debut, which was very fun to watch. He absolutely killed it. Bol could be a star for the Denver Nuggets in the future, but that is for another video. At power forward, they had Paul Millsap, and at center, they had Mason Plumlee. So pretty much four players who could play the center position, and a guy who usually plays a small forward or power forward position, and they put all five of these guys out at the same time. So just how tall was the Denver Nuggets starting lineup? Well, for starters, Nikola Jokic is 7 feet tall, Jeremy Grant is 6'8", Bol is 7'2", Paul Millsap is also 6'8", and Mason Plumlee is 6'11", so that brings us to an average of 6'9", which is absolutely ridiculous. Now let's talk about the strengths and the weaknesses of this type of lineup, a big bully ball type of lineup. Well, obviously, the obvious advantage would be mismatches at every position because of the size advantage that a team like this has. So mismatches are going to allow every player to have a size advantage. It's going to allow them to get to the bucket a lot more easily. It's going to allow them to shoot over smaller defenders a lot more easily. And maybe the only guys who don't have a size advantage are Paul Millsap and Mason Plumlee in this situation because they play the power forward and center position. But Nikola Jokic at point guard, Jeremy Grant at shooting guard, and Bol at small forward. Name a small forward who is as tall as Bol. You might say KD, but even Bol is taller than KD. So, like I said, you're just not going to see a lot of guys who could guard, or a lot of lineups who could guard all five of these guys. So, obviously, the main advantage is the mismatches on the offensive end, and on the defensive end, this team is going to be very, very hard to score on, especially in the paint, just because of their length, because of their size. However, the weaknesses obviously are speed and quickness, so that could be a weakness on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Stamina, big guys tend to get tired, fatigued a lot faster than smaller guys do, than guards do, just because they have a lot more weight to move, they have a lot more size to move. So stamina is going to be an issue. You couldn't run five guys this big for that long. And the skill gap, guards are skill players for a reason. Starting 5-7 footers is obviously not the most skilled lineup. Even if you do have some skilled big guys, most teams, in fact, I don't think any team is going to have five guys who could play the point guard position that are 7 feet tall. That's just unrealistic. And even though some teams do have, these 7-foot freak athletes, freak skill players, teams are not going to be able to put out 5-7 footers who are skilled. So this is another weakness. In my opinion, this bully ball type of lineup, as I like to call it, is going to have its trade-offs, just like every system has, just like every lineup has. Obviously, small ball is a lineup or a system that a lot of teams like to do right now, particularly the Houston Rockets, where they like to switch it up and put 5 guards out on the floor. So this bully ball type of lineup, like I said, as I like to call it, is going to be the exact opposite of that. And while small ball is a popular thing right now and it does have a lot of advantages, obviously it also has a lot of disadvantages. So in my opinion, it's kind of pick your poison when it comes to what you are willing to sacrifice versus what you are willing to gain. And in certain situations, any lineup can work. So I think that it is going to take teams with multiple skilled big men, obviously, to run this lineup. It is going to take teams with big men who can play multiple positions to run this lineup. And I think that while this lineup is very, very tough to guard, and while it would be very scary for teams with smaller players, I still don't think that it is very sustainable. Obviously, like I mentioned before, the stamina is a big issue. The speed and quickness is a big issue. So if you're putting a big, 6'9" average starting lineup out there at all times, teams are going to figure out a way around it. Teams are going to expose it. I think that there will always be a place for smaller players in the league. I don't think that we are going to see a league where everybody is 6'8" and above, because like I said, small players have their advantage over bigger players in certain areas. So do I think that this is going to be a new trend for teams that have multiple big skilled men? I think that they could start practicing this type of lineup for certain situations, but I doubt that this is going to become the regular, and I doubt that this is going to be a thing that every team is going to start doing. But anyways, that is just my thoughts. Please leave your thoughts on this big bully ball type of lineup that the Denver Nuggets put out. Let me know what other teams you think could pull it off, whether or not you think the Nuggets should keep doing it, and also what you think the NBA is headed towards, what you think of the NBA bubble. Just leave your thoughts on everything in the comment section down below. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.